And good morning. It is 18 minutes after 9 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning from the Roswell Humane Society, Krystle Noble back with us. Good morning.
Good morning.
And you've brought guests.
I did.
Would you like to introduce?
So we have
He's like, no.
4-month-old Sadie.
All right, Sadie, and that's Sadie's
Chihuahua
Dachshund mix. Okay, I was like, I see Chihuahua. What's the other?
She's a Chewini.
Chewini. I like that. Feels like that sounds like a delicious appetizer. Chewini.
It sounds like chili dogs.
With
Chewini.
With an avocado salsa, maybe.
And then we have my daughter Janae.
Hi. Good morning.
Hi.
And she has no desire whatsoever to be sitting right where she's at this morning here. So.
Nope, she didn't get that memo.
And but she's a thespian and everything, so you like to
She likes to
project and talk to people, right? You like to, you just don't want to do it right now. I get, right?
Not when she's on spotlight, apparently.
I get you.
When there's about 50 other people with her, she's fine.
Yes. So, our Chewini's scared. I could tell that's a nervous look. Of course, Chihuahuas are nervous by nature.
So are Dachshunds.
Yeah.
So she's got the double.
Yeah, the double negative. Now, is this looking for a home, or is this?
She is.
Oh, okay. Now, how long has she been at the shelter here?
So Sadie is the first part of the entire litter. We got all 11 puppies, but we got Sadie back in September.
Okay. How old is Sadie now?
Sadie's about 4.5 months old now.
About 4.5 months.
And the second part of her litter came in at the beginning of December.
Okay.
So they're not quite out of quarantine yet. They will be right after the first of the year.
Okay. So is she about full grown, even though she's 4.5 months?
You know, for little dogs, they do grow to their full size by 6 months.
Okay, so she's about there.
She's just about
Might
there.
get another pound or two here, but that's about it for her. Okay. Because I looked at her and I was like, she looks full grown. She looks, I mean, she doesn't look, how dogs age and you see the gray. She doesn't have none of that, but she looks like an adult dog versus a puppy.
Mm-hmm.
So, but she needs a good home.
She cuddles very well.
She looks like it. She's been very quiet, just kind of clinging on to your daughter there and saying, this. I think it's two people, kindred spirits right now. Neither one want to be here right now. So.
Well, Sadie is her favorite dog to hang out with when she comes to work with me.
Oh,
so
okay.
I told her, go grab Sadie. Sadie's coming with us today.
All right. Well, if that gets too much, you might end up with Sadie.
Oh, God, no. She's got goats to play with at home. Baby goats.
So Sadie's looking for a good home.
She is.
How does Sadie do with other dogs and things?
Well, Sadie came in with
a litter.
So, and she still has access to be around her litter mates.
Okay.
She seems to not care about anything. She's done meet and greets with cats too. Done very well.
Okay.
Now anything bigger than her, we haven't introduced her to. So I don't know how she reacts to dogs bigger than her, but anything equal to her size, she's just like, oh, whatever.
She's good with it. She's like, okay. And I imagine the big dog, it's all about,
the little dog,
just like people. Be big. Well, and then it's just like people. The big dog comes bowed up on her. She's probably going to be like, nah, I don't like that one. But if all floppy and goofy and wanting to play, she might be a little more receptive. It's like people.
Mm-hmm.
You're nice to a person, they're going to be nice to you back. If you're a jerk to them, guess what? You're probably going to get that right back at you. So, so it's probably a lot of that going on too. But she needs a good home. I did get a chance before I left, because we talked to you right before Christmas there.
Mm-hmm.
I did get a chance to see all the wonderful volunteer pictures and things that I can't remember. Was it ENMU?
Yes, the campus.
Yeah, and those were great. I hope it helped adopt a few of those.
Do you know how long it took just to get those few pictures?
I imagine a lot, because they were very well.
Animals do not cooperate for photos.
And they were like professional, like if you take your kid to Owens Mills kind of pictures.
So
yeah.
We spent probably 2.5 hours just to get 10 photos.
Now,
to get 10
natural
good photos. So one of the things we had to start doing was recording them, and then you pause it at the moment, and then you
pick the best one that catches them in action there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the cats didn't want to cooperate. The dogs were like, let's shred all the decorations.
Yeah, that's a big playland for some of these dogs.
And then if you see Tom, the cat, he's actually hanging on.
I remember that one.
So we went to the thrift store and we had got some Christmas decorations, and then Miss Marino Geen had bought some too and brought them. And so we were decorating in the vet room. And so, first one, I was like, you know what? He's a really calm cat.
Let's go easy. That didn't go well.
She looked at me, she goes, I thought you said calm cat. I said, well, apparently he likes decorations that I didn't know about.
I think we just found a trigger.
He climbed the entire, it was actually a tree skirt that we hung up.
Okay. But it's an awesome picture.
He climbed up halfway to the top and then looked at us and was like, oh, how do I get down? I was like, you better get that photo because I ain't taking him down until you get a photo.
All right. I saw that picture. I loved it. I was like, and even the other ones, you know, with the dogs and the cat, it looked natural.
Yeah,
like
they decorated a box and then stuffed the bottom with like a little dog bed. Mm-hmm. So that way the animals could be sitting halfway up so it looked like they were hanging over.
Sure.
That was the hardest photos to get because they would jump out and then the camera would snap in mid-jump.
Right, and it catch them all.
Yeah. So they probably took about 1,000 photos that day just to get 10 just really good photos.
Ones. Well, I hope it helps.
It did. It really did. And the fact that, you know, the interpersonal communications, they always do so much for us. Mm-hmm. You know, they have 2 semesters, you know, and like each semester they have where they group and they go out to the community. Well, we're naturally one of them that gets chosen twice a year. And then
great.
Marine has a group, and I'm not exactly sure what the group is called, but it's where they continue to volunteer throughout the community. Mm-hmm. And any like big holiday or anytime they need to do something major, they come to us, they walk the dogs, they brush the dogs.
That's awesome.
If it's in the summertime, they bathe the dogs.
Oh, wow.
To just try to help get them out into the community.
That's great.
And that helps us, too.
Absolutely,
so, Miss Marino Gein is one of the most awesomest professors out there that you could ever ask for.
I love that. That's
when
awesome.
I went to college, she was there, so she's been there a very long time.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, if they're teaching photography and these things, you know, the world's your subject. And what better place than, because there's not a person on the planet that's going to look at pictures of cats and puppies and things and be like, oh, gosh. They're going to be like, aw.
And what's even more funnier is it was all done from our smartphones.
That's great.
No professional
technology nowadays.
Yeah, you don't have to have a camera no more. Just use your cell phone and they go to the pro mode and start snapping.
I see those Android and Apple commercials and they're like Steven Spielberg, like people like, hey, we're making a movie. All we got is this phone, but here we go, you know, and yeah, it's crazy. So, well, that's great to see. And so, you know, folks, I imagine there's people listening want to do more volunteers. Always, that's something, especially for folks that maybe can't adopt the dogs because they live in a townhouse or something that doesn't have a yard, but you love pets and you want to get some time. This is a great way to volunteer. Spend a couple hours a week or whatever your availability is. And sometimes just coming out and socializing with the pets. Obviously, weather permitting, you know, taking them out for walks and things, but taking them into the meet and greet room and just interacting with humans, all the pets, that makes them more used to people, more friendly around people, which in turn makes them more appealing when families are coming to look to adopt pets. So it's a great win-win. And of course, if you want to get more involved and help with the cleaning out of things and helping, you know, because there's a lot of cleaning going on. Love to have volunteers do all that stuff. So big thank you to the college for doing this.
Yes.
But if, the more the merrier. If you'd love to get involved, reach out to Krystle or the Humane Society and say, hey, how can we help? How can we get involved? And I'm sure there's a list of things that you guys could use help.
There's a ton of things, you know, and we even, like, we do stuff with junior highs and high schools, like the Honor Society, because, you know, our insurance requires you to be 18 to actually volunteer in the shelter.
Okay.
There are other things that you can do outside that help the shelter still. Like the Honor Society for Goddard for the last 10, 11 years has always done, like, a donation drive.
Okay. So collecting pet supplies
through the entire school year, you know, they collect, you know, like cleaning supplies, cat litter, things that aren't going to expire, obviously.
Sure, yeah.
And then, like, right before Christmas or right before the end of the school year, you know, they call us and we either go get it, depending on how much it is, or they bring it to us.
Nice.
The Brendo Middle School has always done, their Honor Society has always done drives. Now, what they do is they do pennies for pets.
Okay.
So they have all the students drop their change in a bucket.
Off. Okay.
And then they go get it rolled up, and then they get a cashier's check.
Oh.
And then they get a big old cardboard cashier's check made.
Nice. And present it.
And they present it.
That's amazing. Those donations help, whether it covers vet bills or the electric bill. You know, they got to pay utilities, or even like trash removal, things like that. If they get a bunch of donations that are trash, they got to take it out to the landfill. Guess what? It costs them every time they do that.
Yeah,
so,
unfortunately, Tuesday, the Tuesday after Christmas, we had about 4 big loads of nothing that had to be hauled off to the trash because, people get, new stuff for Christmas and they donate their old stuff, but sometimes it's not
usable
or sellable. And in return, we have to pay to haul that off. We don't get free disposal because we're not part of the city. We still have to pay.
I always ask folks, if you'd like to donate to the Humane Society, call ahead, talk, say, hey, I've got furniture, I've got clothing, can you use this stuff? And always think of, if it's too worn out for you to use, then it's probably too worn out for someone else to use. But say it's a couch that you just got a new couch. This one's a perfectly good couch, or a coffee pot. You said, I'm going to get the latest Keurig. I'm going to down or upgrade, and I've got my other Keurig that only holds, I can make a cup at a time. Now I can make a carafe at a time, whatever it is. If it's still good, it outgrew it or whatever, then please, by all means, that's great stuff. But if it's clothes that it's gone through 3 kids and starting to look a little beat, and maybe just...
You've sewn the crotch one too many times.
Yeah, maybe just discard that stuff,
But there's a lot of things that, that are still lightly used that are still perfectly sellable.
Sure.
But just think of it this way. If you wouldn't purchase it from a yard sale or a thrift store, don't donate it.
Yeah. That's the good rule of thumb. Yeah.
If, you would look at it and be like, that's used and worn up and I wouldn't buy it, don't donate it.
Sure.
Because in reality, we're probably going to look at it and be like, we can't sell that.
Absolutely.
So, and it just helps us because in order for us to be able to make money to help the animals, we can't spend the money disposing trash.
I know you're trying to be good heart about a donation here, but you're actually causing more harm than good by doing that.
And, if you're not sure if it's something that we would take as a donation, call.
Absolutely.
Talk to Camille, say, hey, this is what I have, even maybe ask her, hey, can you guys come by and take a look and tell me what you can and can't? And then let them pick whatever they feel that is sellable.
Sure.
And then whatever they can't, just discard it yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. That would be awesome. That would be a great way to support the Humane Society and get involved. Another great way to support, maybe you don't have a bunch of stuff, is become a member.
Yes, and January's new enrollment.
Good deal.
Our newsletter will be coming out in the beginning of January. So if you're a member, the enrollment form will be on there.
Okay.
If you're not a member, you can go by the kennels and pick up one. You can go online and do it. I think Tascosa is going to keep a few of them over there. So if you want one, you can pick one up from Tascosa.
Perfect.
And Euphoria on 3rd Street has some of our memberships too, because she sponsors us on First Fridays if Tascosa's not doing it.
Okay. Well, if you want, if next time you come, drop a couple off here. We'll be happy if people want to come by and pick them up and fill them out and drop them off later or something like that. We absolutely help there. But yeah, that's a great way. And the good news is your pets, your kids, your grandma, your grandfather twice removed, everybody and their uncle can be a member of the Humane Society.
Even if you adopt Sadie, Sadie could become a member.
Yeah.
She could be a member alumni.
Exactly. A member. Maybe you have a special dinner for those.
Yeah.
Like some kind of fresh outpost just lined up or whatever they got now.
We got the buffet and milk bone.
There you go.
And then the tartare beefaroni.
I like the milk bone buffet. Sounds almost delicious. There you go see it.
You're like, I don't know about that one.
Yeah.
The peanut butter one smelled okay, but.
Yeah. Well, the jerky's always what
you know what? The filet mignon stuff always smells so good. Like, if they can make human food in a can smell like that and taste like that, it'd be one thing. But dog food, some of the flavors always smell so good. Like the pepperoni smell like actual jerky.
Yeah, but it's all bland food because if you try to spice it up to our palate, that's too rich for most animals' blood there. So it's gonna. What happens is they'll love it and they'll chow it down, but 5 minutes later you're gonna see it again.
So
you have to clean it up.
Funny story: a long time ago, pepperonis didn't come in the aluminum Ziploc bag.
Okay.
They came in a canister like the Slim Jims.
Okay.
With the lid on top.
So they looked very similar to human form of Slim Jim.
Very similar.
Okay.
Well, one of my employees' dad's mom had bought, a canister of the Slim Jims for her husband and then a can of the pepperonis for their dogs.
And then parked them right next to each other?
No. She put the dog stuff on the other side while he was going through the cabinets and he just saw it and he's like, well, I wonder what she moved my beef sticks over here for. So he got them, ate the entire thing, and then told her, I need more of these. These taste better than the real beef sticks.
Oh, he didn't even know and then liked them better.
He didn't even know and he liked them better. And she goes, honey, those are the dog treats. And he was like, are they cheaper than my regular beef sticks? Because I like them better. So some people have the palate of dog food.
All right. Well, to him, he's probably pepperoni king, man. He's to this day. Well, you know what to get that guy for Christmas.
Mm-hmm. Now they come in the refillable, 3-pound bag. So
but I'm sure we can get a Christmas pepperoni basket put together for that. So to each their own.
Yep.
You do you. God bless you.
Yeah, no. Mm-hmm.
But if you'd love to help, great ways. Those are great ways.
There's so many great ways.
And of course, shopping. Come out and shop.
Yes.
You know, that's I would imagine right now. What's the sweet deals for this time? Is it decoration stuff? Or
so they've already, all the Christmas stuff, they knocked it all the way down to 75% off, and that's all gone.
Okay, so
there's no more Christmas in the store. It's come and gone.
Picked apart. All right.
So we will be closed. Both us and the thrift store will be closed Friday and Saturday.
So tomorrow and Saturday this week. So today's last day you can for any business this week.
And then 2021. Our normal days, Sunday and Monday. We will reopen on Tuesday. The thrift store will reopen on Wednesday, 10 a.m. But on the 15th, let me double check. I think it's the 15th.
15th of January. Okay.
Camilla's going to do the 15th of January. So she's going to do a New Year, new store sale.
Okay.
Everything, regardless if it's furniture, decorations, clothing, the entire store that day only will be 50% off.
Wow.
So if you need to shop, if you need pots and pans, they've even got a couple of kitchen little toaster things, and they got some Keurigs over there.
Okay.
Anything like small appliances, big appliances, furniture. They've got a full-size bed over there right now that looks really nice. It's got a pillow top mattress, frame and everything with it.
Probably spent a couple grand new on it if you bought it.
Yeah, it's a Serta.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, easy.
Yeah. They've got that next door right now. But anything that's still in the store or anything that they get in on January 15th will be 50% off the entire day.
And by the way, it's already deeply discounted at the thrift store anyway. So if you would have bought that bed, say, today, it's already hundreds cheaper than what you would have paid for it.
Right.
And then
I think they have it marked for $125 or $200.
Yeah. And on that day, you'll get it for, if it's still around, I don't know.
Right.
You'll get it for $75, $50, That's amazing.
And remember, every Wednesday is still senior day.
Yes.
So all seniors, 20% off your entire purchase.
Okay.
On Thursdays is military, active duty, or retired military veterans, 20% off.
Nice.
And then every Saturday is whiteboard sale day.
Awesome.
So there's the whiteboard as soon as you walk in. It's on the left-hand side.
Like your specials.
Whatever sale they're having that day, whether it's hanging clothes half off, basket clothes, back room, furniture, whatever sale of that day, it will be posted up there.
Yeah, good deal.
And then for the bookworm people, we still have the little book area. It's always restocked, lots of new stuff, hardbacks, paperbacks, softbacks, cooking books, pattern books. They've got a lot of craft books.
Okay. So if you're looking for some projects for the new year here, they got you covered.
They've got the crochet books, the knitting books, the where you put your pattern and sew and make your own clothing kind of books.
Okay.
The not me kind of books.
That's not your game, man.
No,
you're not into that.
Nope.
Good deal.
We are the cook.
You're the cook side.
We are the cook side of the books.
Not the sewing and craft.
Well, I can do it. I just don't like to.
Right. It's not your passion. Or you'll do it as needed. Like if a button falls off or a hole comes up somewhere, all right, I'll take care of that. But I ain't making no Afghans anytime soon.
Nope.
Gotcha.
I ain't building no quilts.
My youngest sister, Callie, she's in 7th grade now, is now into crocheting. And
really?
Yeah, she was crocheting when I got to visit her and see her. And I love that because you don't see many youth crocheting anymore. It's kind of a dying breed here.
When I was younger, I crocheted, I knitted. My grandma made me sew. That's how I know how to sew. And my grandma used to make me iron our clothes every day.
Yeah, you got to do it because it is a skill you need at some point in your life to sew and things.
But, kids these days don't know how good they have it with the electric irons and not the cast iron irons where you have to have your spray bottle and then heat it on the stove.
Yeah.
That's ironing.
Yep. That's when you get that burnt mark on the back of the shirt and you wonder how that's how that happened.
Yep.
Let's talk pets. How's our selection of adoptable pets right now?
We have a plethora.
Good.
So on our dogs, we have 4 that as of the 21st of this year will have been in the shelter for 1 full year.
Oh, wow. So we need to get them a home.
We're working with Albuquerque trying for them to help us, but these guys really, really need a home.
We don't want the institutionalized syndrome to happen to these pets. Yeah.
And surprisingly, they've done very well. They're still very good. They're not acting kennel sour or anything. But
good news is they're probably pretty well loved by staff and everybody that sees them. So the human interaction they do, it's very positive and very good.
They're all bigger dogs.
Yeah.
And they're all what we would say would be middle-aged. Some people would think older.
Gotcha.
Yin Yang, he's going to be 4 now.
Okay.
And then we have Denim, who's going to be about 5.
Okay.
Gabby's only going to be about 2 years old.
Okay.
And then Candy's going to be 6.
Okay.
They are all larger dogs.
Okay.
Yin Yang has to have a 7-foot fence, non-climbable, because he can get out of anything.
Escape artist. Okay.
Yes.
Which is probably why these are a little bit harder to adopt pets, because they have a little bit more special needs than other dogs would have or require.
They're all so affectionate, so sweet. They all walk great on a harness.
Mm-hmm.
One of our volunteers, Rala, who comes twice a week to walk dogs, these are the first 4 that he walks.
Okay.
So that way they're getting outside time at the park.
Getting exercise.
And keeping them from going kennel sour.
Sure. Or gaining weight too much,
Yeah.
Bigger dogs that aren't as active will gain weight pretty quick.
Sometimes when they're in a shelter, the stress will cause them to lose weight,
sure.
too.
Yeah,
so
that's true, too.
You have
where the physicalities lack and the mental, social sides times 10, which, it's just like us, people,
Right.
Same kind of, when we go through stress, you see changes in your body. It's no different with animals, so.
Right.
Yeah.
But we do have some smaller to medium-sized dogs. We have Scrappy Doo. He's a pit mix. Or he's a pit, but he's the smaller side.
Okay.
He's not very big. He's probably about 55 pounds full grown.
Okay.
Not very big. We have Cookie, which is the Basenji mix. She's roughly 3.5 years old, 35 pounds. She's hilarious. She's very
So these
fun.
are more medium-sized dogs on some of these. They're not the big, other than that.
No.
One that needs the 7-foot fences. These aren't 80, 100-pound animals.
And then we have Foster, who's about 1.5 years now, and he's a Corgi mix, maybe Corgi Dachshund.
Okay.
We have Mesa, which is a Doberman cross, small.
Okay.
She's small. She's about 45 pounds.
Okay.
She's about 2.5 years old. She's already spayed. She is a very high energy dog.
Okay.
So if you like to go hiking or running up and down the riverbeds,
good companion for that.
She's going to be the dog to do it with you because she's got loads of energy.
Good. And I imagine as they get older, they'll settle some of that down. And that's what I like. Some of these dogs you're talking about, these 4 and 5-year-old dogs, you kind of got the best of both worlds with these because they're young dogs. But if you're kind of not wanting something that's got the rambunctiousness of a puppy, that's kind of
still has some energy to go get and go with you.
So they're going to be a little bit more mature about those things. Now, obviously, you're going to have to sit down and train with them and work with them to get to your routines and your things, and they'll go along. And sometimes that's a little trickier with older dogs. You always hear that can't teach old dogs new tricks. That's not true.
Yes, you can. I'm married. Yeah, I know it.
You can, but sometimes they're a little more stubborn than the young ones. So that's just how it is.
See, that's how I get her to smile. Talk about her dad.
But these make great pets for especially. So maybe if we were talking about single people or things that looking for a companion that are still able to we talk older folks, but if they're able to walk the dog and do all the things that are required of a bigger dog, then these dogs would be great companions for them, or maybe even great family dogs for some folks too.
And one of them, which is Cookie, she would be a great family dog. She loves kids. She sees kids, and it's just like a whole new world to her. She loves them. And she's so sweet. She walks great on a harness. She doesn't pull. She doesn't jerk. She sees
she just
the
wants
harness,
to be around people.
And she's like, okay, it's time to go.
So she gets excited, but at the same time, she's excited just because she gets to socialize and be around people. It's not so much the act of walking; it's the act of being around people and getting love, and and expressing the love and all the stuff that pets do. Yeah. Yep. Cool.
And then we still have Clyde, which is our tripod.
Yes.
He did finally get his leg amputated.
Okay.
It is fully healed.
Okay.
He is good for adoption. He's not fond of men.
Okay, so maybe a female, single female, or someone. Well, not a lot of men in the world here, probably, or someone that is very patient. A male that's very patient and can.
He does
win her
okay.
Over.
He just doesn't like men to pick him up.
Gotcha. So
Like,
whatever
they can
happened
pet
to this
him.
dog,
Cat.
I'm sorry.
Cat.
What happened to this cat? Probably a male did it. Whatever happened.
And you know what's really weird is the gentleman who found him in his litter, when he brought him in, like, he was the only one that could touch him in the beginning because he's the one that found him,
Sure.
took him in, took care of him, brought him to us. But he does not like anybody else. Like, he loves all the females.
Sure.
But when he sees men, like, he's very leery.
So I think he'll like men. Just you gotta
earn it.
You gotta get in his world, and that's cats sometimes. That's just how they are. So I think once you break that bubble, this cat will be fine. It's just you're gonna have to work to get that affection a little bit for men. Gotcha. Makes sense.
But him missing that back leg doesn't slow him down
Doesn't hamper any way, shape, or form.
Nope.
Very good. Good deal.
He's,
How old's Tripod here?
He is now 7 months old.
Okay. So
And he's already
is that full grown in 7 months?
pretty much.
Pretty much. Okay.
And I think because of, the injuries he had as a very young kitten, I don't think he's going to be very big.
Okay.
He's probably about 8 pounds now.
Okay.
Ish.
Maybe gain a pound or two.
Yeah. He's neutered. He did get a rabies vaccination, his leg amputated. So the only thing he needs to go home is a microchip.
Okay. Which every pet will need when you get adopted.
Yeah.
That's the ordinance in the city now. So how does that work for people that adopt pets that don't live here? Is that
because they're adopting in our city limits and our ordinances, they have to go by our ordinances for adoption.
Gotcha. So regardless if you live in the county or live in another city or county, you still will have to get the pet chip.
Now, Artesia, Eddy County, is microchip. They've been a microchip ordinance for
long before we were?
Way before we were. And I believe Carlsbad is the same as well.
Okay.
Ruidoso is starting it now.
Okay.
Portales and Clovis.
Regardless, it's going to be the way of the future if it isn't already. So.
Portales and Clovis, I don't think they're there yet. But I know Albuquerque, Rio Rancho, Santa Fe, they're all microchip required as well. So.
Okay. So it's just to your benefit to get it done. And here's a quick reminder to folks, too. Once you get that pet chipped and everything, don't forget, if you have a change in address or move or anything else, add to your checklist of things you got to do is getting those chips updated. Yep. Otherwise, they do you no good if you've got outdated information in there. That's why do they, as far as, because I haven't had a pet chipped yet, is there a minimum of what you have to put in there as far as, because can you just get away with a phone number?
So what they do with the microchip is when you register your microchip, so it's the animal's name, their breed, their age at the time of the microchip, so that way they can continue the age.
Sure.
Their colors, your name,
okay,
your address, your phone number.
Okay. So you have to put the address in?
Yeah.
Okay.
A secondary owner and a secondary phone number.
Okay.
So let's say you and your wife, you have 2 separate phone numbers. But let's say you're at work and you can't be reached.
Sure.
They can call your wife.
Yeah, makes
or
sense.
Or vice versa.
Makes sense.
But a lot of the companies, when when we call because we found somebody with a microchip, what they do is they call the owners and give them the person's phone number who found the pet.
Okay.
And
let
send
them
that way.
Let them.
So no addresses given out or any of that.
I was just thinking because usually people change their address more often than their phone number nowadays.
So as long
I got my same phone number I've had 20 plus years on here.
As long as your phone number is current, if you do change your phone number, that's where you need to update that information.
Gotcha. Okay.
If you move like from Poe Street to Pennsylvania Street, I wouldn't worry about that as long as your phone number is the same. But if you move out of state or out of city,
that's where it's going to make a difference.
That's where you need to make sure, because you need to location change your dog's county. Because if you're in Chaves County, there's a lot of Chaves County you could be found in. But if you live in Chaves County and you move to Bernalillo, and then somebody picks your dog up in Bernalillo, they're going to be calling down here.
Sure.
Trying to find you here.
Exactly.
So you need to change your address that way.
Sure. That makes sense. But But either way, just put that, be in the bonnet, add it to your checklist of things when you move or do something like
And
that. Or
a lot,
change your phone number or anything.
There's a few of the vets in town that when you get a microchip, they do that for you. They register it for you.
Okay.
I know
and I think
South
to change
Springs
it's pretty
does
easy,
it.
isn't it? You can go online and change it as needed. So
South Springs automatically registers it, Costa Cadencia, and Cielo Grande.
Gotcha.
I'm not 100% sure if Country Club and Smith do, but I know at College Garden, like, you register it yourself because they use a different microchip than the other three.
Okay.
And there's like 5 or 6 different microchip companies out there, so, depending on
Sure. Everyone's got
want.
their own features and what have you.
Right.
So, makes sense. Very good. But regardless, if you're looking for a pet right now, there's quite a few. Now, if you go online to roswellhumane.org, you can see every single pet that calls the Humane Society home right now.
Yep.
You may see not available over some of the pictures. That does not mean they've been adopted. If they've been adopted, they're no longer on the website.
Right.
What that means is they're in quarantine. Maybe they're not heavy enough. They haven't made weight yet, or they just came new and they're getting their vaccinations and things, and parvo and all the various things that are bad to animals here. They're making sure that all that's good to go before they make them available to the public to take home and adopt. So if you fall in love, you're like, oh, look at that dog. That's the one I've been wanting, and it's not available. Call and ask and say, hey, what's the deal with Scruffy here? What's going on? Oh, Scruffy's about a pound under, probably be available in a week, or Scruffy's waiting to get X shot first, or we just got her in, but we can't put her in general public for another couple days until we know she's clear of anything contagious. That's what's going on there. But that actually is a clue for you guys. So if you're calling, now don't harass. Don't call every 2 minutes. Hey, how's the dog doing? How's the dog doing? But
we have caller ID. We
Yes.
will not answer. No, I'm kidding.
But if you're like, hey, I want Scruffy here, when's Scruffy available? And can I meet Scruffy yet? And it's like, not yet, but give us, but you calling and showing interest, that's a good sign, because those are the people that we want adopting pets, people that are going to treat these pets like it's part of their family. And so that is a great indicator. Now, you can get pre-registered. Like if you're like, hey, I want to adopt a dog, you want to check me out, make sure I'm good to go. They can get all that done, and then the moment that the dog is coming out on quarantine, then he can go right to the vet to get spayed, neutered, chipped, whatever it does, and part of your home the next day or two after that. So
Yeah, depending on the vet for their
yeah,
schedules,
it depends and depends on the dog and what's going on there too. So, but you can get the pre-work done there, because anytime you adopt a dog from the Humane Society, there are requirements. You got to have a fenced-in yard that's got to be in an environment that's safe and okay for that dog. These dogs are not meant to be put out in your backyard and left alone for their own devices. That's not why they're adopting them. Cats,
strictly indoors.
Yeah, strictly indoor cats, no outdoor cats. But say you can't adopt a dog because you live in an apartment or you live in a yard that doesn't have a fence or something like that. Well, cats will be adopted there, no problem. And obviously little dogs, if there's a fenced-in area that's not the full yard but good enough for that little dog, that works. And obviously, so if you've got 8 foot of fenced-in area, you're not adopting a Doberman. But if you want a Chihuahua, maybe we can talk. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, depending on the breed you're looking at, depends on the requirements.
Yeah.
So, each breed has its own requirements, height, size,
Yeah.
climbable, non-climbable. We learn a lot about them while they're there. So
It's true.
we want to make sure that they're not escaping their new home.
Absolutely. Exactly. You want the experience to adopt the best possible one for the family. So you want to make sure that those steps are in place. So A, nothing bad happens to the pet, but B, your family's also protected and getting, a good experience as a pet owner too. So it's a win-win for everybody, including. But at the end of the day, the Humane Society's priority are those pets, and they're not going to adopt them to people that they don't think will be good owners of pets. And that's what that's that now. And now I also want to throw this note out because we're running short on time. If you do not see a pet that for whatever reason doesn't strike you fancy or you don't connect with at the Humane Society, walk right next door to the animal control. You're rescuing a pet. Doesn't matter if it comes out of which building. You're rescuing a pet either way. And so walk into the now, and I'll tell you this: the restrictions over at Animal Control aren't the same as the Humane Society. They're a little more looser on rules for adopting. You're still going to have to get spayed and chipped and all that, but fencing and stuff, they're not as strict on that. So if you think you can be a good steward on that, that's a conversation between you and animal control. But please look over there and adopt those pets, because what happens if you adopt from the Humane Society and you free up a kennel over there, if there's any pets, which is not often, but if there's pets on the short list over next door, they'll get those out of there and into places that are no kill shelters. But also know, and I want to make this known because I know there's a lot of people that talk and spread things and talk on Facebook. Animal control is not in the killing animal business either. They do everything in their power to try to rescue those pets too. So they're pet lovers that work there, just like there's pet lovers that work next door at the Humane Society.
They have a job the same reason we have a job.
Exactly.
Irresponsible owners.
Mm-hmm.
So when you don't go looking for your dog and you don't keep your dog or cat confined in your area, that's why we have jobs, is because there's people who don't care. They're irresponsible.
Absolutely.
If all the world was responsible, there wouldn't be shelters.
You'd be out of a job. Yeah, you'd be out of a job. And
I'd be looking for a new career. Mike?
That's right. We get you gig in radio. But folks, please go to roswellhumane.org this morning. Come on by. Don't forget, if you want to go to the shelter or go to the thrift store, one more time this year. Today's the last day to do it. Otherwise, we'll see you next Tuesday.
Yep.
Good deal. Is there anything we missed?
Oh, we're back to hiring again.
Oh, good. So need kennel, and it's whatever minimum wage is now.
Well, minimum wage changes as of Saturday.
What's it go up to now?
I think it's $11.50 or $11.55.
Okay.
One of the two.
So you'll be making more than me soon. So if you're inquiring about that and loved around pets and don't mind getting dirty, because it's a job where you're going to be cleaning up after pets and tending to their needs. It's a loving, great job, but you're going to deal with poo and puke. That's just the nature of the beast.
Uh-huh. What goes in must come out.
It's like, somewhere.
Yeah.
You got to clean
just like
that
us.
up. Yep. Very good.
But yes, so if you are interested, please bring a resume or a cover letter, pick up an application, and leave it at the kennel.
Absolutely. And just come be a part of the Humane Society here. I'd love to have you. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Happy New Year.
Yes, Happy New Year.
Welcome to the show. I know you didn't want to be here, but and come adopt this. Come adopt Sadie. Sadie, right? I get it right. Sadie. She is a Chihuahua Dotson mix. She's been quiet as a church mouse this whole time, just sitting there comfortably chilling in her lap there, just being a great dog. If you're looking for a good lap dog here, I think you might have just found it right there.
Mm-hmm. She is here to show the expert of cuddles.
Yes, cuddle expert. Very good. Well, thank you guys. We'll see you here in a couple weeks. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. It is 9:56.